Do you feel it? Since every business is a software business, chances are you do. It comes from continuous delivery and automation success. But a different feeling is taking shape. With rapid innovation come new risks, new challenges, a sharper focus on your responsibilities. We need to transform beyond simple automation. Transform in a way that gives the business peace of mind, but also unlocks creative freedom for developers. Freedom to create software that delivers tomorrow's innovations. Welcome to the new age of DevOps. Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage CloudBees Chief Product Officer, Christina Noren.
Hi, everyone. It's fantastic to be here. It's been a really exciting 7 months at CloudBees, and this is my chance to lead a group of us in the product team to show you what we've been working on for the last year. Not sure if some of you were in the US Jenkins world last year, but this is all the stuff that we've been working on since then. And if you're new to Jenkins world, welcome. So it's my chance to show you what we've been up to. And I'm going to ask 6 members of our product and engineering and design teams to come up on stage to help me show you the concrete reality of everything that we've been up to. But before then, I'm going to share a little bit of context from my point of view of the world in which we're operating today. There's probably going to be a little bit of overlap between what I say and what Sasha shared with you. We've been having a lot of dialogue about how things have been developing in the industry and what that means for all of our customers, for ourselves. But let me give you my perspective. I'll do it quickly. So I think we're entering a new phase in the Agile and DevOps transformation journey, but beyond simple automation. So, up till this year, the tagline we used at CloudBees was software at the speed of ideas. That's still important, but I think it's bigger than that. And, so it starts with something that's kind of, table stakes these days in terms of saying that every business is a software business. Everybody's saying that. It's a variant of software is eating the world. How do you know that you're in a software business? You're in a software business when your CEO says you are. You're in a software business when your CEO cares as much about how you develop software as they care about their sales pipeline. It might be that you were born digital. There's a lot of digital new entrants entering different industries. You might be transforming. But if your CEO is, if your pharma, your financial, your retail, your manufacturing, any other company is, trying to remake your organization in the mold of big tech, you are now a software company. And those who aren't will probably be replaced by those who are. And so what does that mean? I've spent my life in software companies, and so I can tell you what that means from personal experience, which is there's a constant pressure to innovate. You heard that from HSBC a minute ago. You heard that from Sasha. There's a relentless pressure to innovate, and that is why you're doing Agile. That's why you're doing DevOps. That's why you're doing CI/CD. That's why you've adopted Jenkins, right? But increased velocity, we're starting to realize it brings new risks and challenges and changes subtly the risks and challenges that were already present in our businesses. So it could be that there are compliance and audit requirements, and there's a conflict between dealing with those and continuous delivery. It could be that you do have continuous delivery and there's some new risks of this automation skipping gates or missing regressions and something broken getting out to your customers. It could be that developers are just, rogue and kind of doing their own thing. And it could be that you just don't have the visibility you need. You really don't know whether you're getting the value. You don't know whether things are actually moving quickly. You don't know how you benchmark against your competition. So those are some new risks and some new challenges. But the impulse, as Sasha alluded to control and to ensure that you meet those responsibilities is sometimes in conflict with what's just as important and sometimes probably more important to a software business, which is serving your developers. Developers want to be free. They don't want bureaucracy, they don't want red tape, they want it to be easy to get a new project pipeline going. They want feedback that serves them, that tells them how they can do better. They want tools that are fun and rewarding to use. Fundamentally, I think one of the things that's super important about the shift from being, companies in pharma, financial, retail, whatever, that have IT departments, to being software companies in those industry verticals, is you realize that your success is very much based on being places that the best software developers want to work. So how do you achieve that balance? Well, that's why we're building the world's first end-to-end software delivery system. And you heard Sasha talk about building the CRM for software delivery. That's kind of the result of many months of discussion and debate amongst Sasha, myself, the other members of our leadership team around, I think we started thinking maybe we're building the ERP for software delivery. And we really came to that CRM analogy being much more powerful and much more instructional about what we wanted to build, because of what Sasha said about how software developers to CRM, to what we're doing are like individual sales reps to CRM. And personally, in my own software career, I spent a lot of my early career building out Salesforce automation systems and forecasting systems that my bosses running sales wanted, but the sales reps absolutely hated. And then I saw how initially Siebel and Salesforce started to get that formula right, where they were systems that served sales reps and VPs of sales alike. And I think that same subtlety plays out in a lot of the conversations, and that's why I think the CRM analogy is a lot more powerful. So, that's a little bit of the context, for me, of the products that we're building. And so now let's take a look at what this end-to-end system would have in it. So first off, it would have features, and you're going to see some of those from us today in a few minutes. It would have a means of governing the software development process. And governance is not just about compliance, but it's also about other internal policies and practices that arise because you realize that you've learned something organizationally about the best way to develop software of different kinds in your organization. Much like your sales leadership knows what sales stages and process makes sense and produces the right results. So governance is not just about government compliance. Governance is about ensuring some consistency and reaping the rewards of a learning organization. Visibility. So such a system would provide excellent visibility into what's really going on in your software organization. And it would be at both a macro outcomes level in terms of, are we actually delivering the value we expect? If we have a hypothesis around a new feature's impact on our business, do we see those outcomes after that gets deployed to the business? And how fast, and what are the metrics we see, and how do our metrics about the speed of that delivery and the quality of that delivery compare to competitors amongst teams in our organization? So at that macro level, But you'd also get visibility at a granular level that the people running the infrastructure get something valuable out of it, that individual developers get something valuable out of it. So visibility is a key aspect of such a system. And as such, also, mentioned briefly, but such a system would have to have an underlying process and organization model. It would have to have one that was sort of a base model, that this is just how software organizations operate. But then it would have to be able to adapt to your specific organization and be customized and really reflect the specifics of your business, your organization, your processes. And it would have to be flexible. And this is another subtle reason why I kind of prefer the CRM to the ERP analogy. Because kind of like, with SAP, if you adopt SAP for ERP, you kind of are adopting a certain way of doing quote to cash and running a business on a finance side. If you adopt a modern CRM system, you're really adopting a tool that can be adapted to the specifics of your business. So there are going to be differences in software delivery for critical systems like air traffic control, for mobile banking, for different business types. So, and it would have to be able to support those diverse software portfolios. And you're going to have a whole different set of tool chains. So, you're going to have a different selection of test tools that are used in your organization versus another organization in the same industry. So you have to have that flexibility. And of course, it would have to be scalable, reliable, and elastic. And that's a lot of, if you're already CloudBees customers in the audience, it's a lot of what we've helped you with over the last several years relative to Jenkins, is giving you CI/CD infrastructure that is scalable, that is reliable, and increasingly leveraging Kubernetes more and more, and cloud native more and more, increasingly elastic. And so that still has to be a part of the system. But I think the previous points gave you a little bit more color on the greater functionality that's going to be required in our view, and that we're trying to build for all of you. And again, all this together is way beyond CI/CD alone and beyond enterprise Jenkins. So you're not hearing us talk about CloudBees Jenkins Splat anymore. CloudBees is building an end-to-end suite, but Jenkins will be inside for years to come. And as the butler evolves, we're going to be right there with him. And as you're also going to see this morning from us, we're going to be supporting and leading a lot of that development. And that's part of our role in this community we're all part of. So let's take a look at some of the pieces that are falling into place to form the CloudBees suite. So you've probably already, some of you, started to hear some new product names from us in the last few months, and some of you may be hearing it for the first time here. Some of you may be more Jenkins community users and know less about CloudBees. But for those of you who've known us for a little while, I want to acknowledge that we've played a lot with product names over the last several years, and we've confused a lot of you, and I'm sorry. We have a little disease that happens to innovative software companies that I call productitis. Whenever we have a new idea, here's a new shiny object to sell you, and let's have you learn a new name. And oh, by the way, it's going to be a long name, so it's going to be a TLA. And we're going to have the same TLA mean 5 different things. So I'm sorry. It's what happens with innovative software companies, but we're trying to clean it up, we're trying to simplify it. So what I'm presenting this morning is hopefully a streamlined view, a way of thinking about what it is that we're building for you, that we can build on together for years to come, and hopefully once you learn this round, you can build on that knowledge and we won't confuse you every 6 months. Anyway, so here's what being one suite means to us. So first off, the products in CloudBees Suite are beginning to share data. And you see some of that forming, as you'll see in the demos today, between DevOps and CloudBees Core. But you're going to see more and more logically shared data between the different products in the suite working together. And they're going to begin to share a common model of what your software development organization and processes look like, so that you can model and say, okay, this pipeline has this gate to this other pipeline, and that results in this service being delivered. The names make sense in your organization, and DevOps will understand that, and CloudBees Core will understand that, and you'll model it in one place. And your users in all roles will have a shared identity across all of the products in the suite. And a single suite, and where it makes sense, single screens will allow you to look across diverse software portfolios. You'll no longer have an island of your .NET development, an island of your embedded systems development, an island of your Java development, but where it makes sense, you'll be able to look at all of your software development and all of your portfolios. And it would have to be flexible in terms of where and how you run it too, and even support mixed models. There may be parts of your organization where it makes sense to run in different public clouds. Increasingly, you're all looking to have multi-cloud strategies. There may be parts where it makes sense to still run your CI/CD infrastructure and your software development management infrastructure on-premise. And there may be places in your organization where letting us do the work and being a consumer of a multi-tenant SaaS makes sense. And you should be able to have a view across all of that through a common CloudBees suite. So I'm going to ask for a little bit of help from my team to show you some more specifics. We've had a lot of slides this morning. So we're going to start with DevOps. So last year, if you were at Jenkins World or saw the talks, we promised it. Now it's here. So DevOps is visibility and optimization as a service for all of your Jenkins and your CloudBees commercial CI/CD pipelines. So I'm going to ask Alex Tahoe, who's the Director of Product Management for DevOps, to come up and tell you a little bit about it.
Good morning. Hello, everyone. We at DevOps believe you can't improve what you don't see. That is why DevOps provides visibility and insight into your software delivery workflow. It helps you map and visualize your CD process as value streams, helping you understand how work flows through the system end to end, all the way to production environments. It highlights bottlenecks as part of these value streams, enabling you to identify areas of waste and also areas of improvement. In order to understand your overall software delivery performance, DevOps surfaces key DevOps metrics as part of these value streams. Additionally, it provides CD platform monitoring, enabling your team to manage and to optimize your CD infrastructure to best support the needs of your product teams. DevOps not only supports CloudBees Core, but also Jenkins open source. We at DevOps are excited to connect what couldn't be connected before. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. So each of these little vignettes are going to be brief, but you'll have other opportunities to learn more about what we're giving you glimpses of during this talk this morning. So Alex and his fellow product manager on the team, Karan Malhi, each have sessions. This afternoon, this morning. So they each have sessions this morning at 11:45. So you can either hear more from Alex or hear from his colleague. And also, after each of these vignettes, I'll be sharing with you how you can best get started. And so one thing that Alex didn't tell you about was that just a few weeks ago at Jenkins World in San Francisco, we announced the availability of a free forever, this is not a trial, this is something you can use forever, a free forever edition of DevOptics that provides the Run Insights CD platform monitoring, so you can get insights into the health of your continuous delivery infrastructure. That works on Jenkins open source, so you don't have to pay us a cent. You can have a Jenkins open source installation, and you can start to get interesting insights into the health of your Jenkins platform. So what I'd like to invite you to do is visit this URL and sign up for DevOptics. If you're one of the first 50 people here to do so and to tweet out at this hashtag, you can stop by our booth and get a gift certificate for the CloudBees Jenkins store. And don't worry if you don't catch all that. At the end of this morning's talk, we'll put up a slide with all of the different URLs for these different things that you can get started with. And you'll be able to take a picture of one slide. So now let's talk about the heart of the suite. So CloudBees Core is the successor product name for the unification of what we have previously referred to as CloudBees Jenkins Platform and what we have previously referred to as CloudBees Jenkins Enterprise. So we're retiring two TLAs there, and CloudBees Core is the successor product name. So I'm going to start by having the team show you what CloudBees Core is capable of today. And then a little later this morning, we're going to show you of where we're going to take CloudBees Core. And so being the unification of these two predecessor products, CloudBees Core can run on what we call traditional platforms, bare metal servers or VMs, whether you're running them in the cloud, public cloud, or you're running them on-prem, or they can take advantage of modern Kubernetes-based cloud-native environments, or a mix of both. And so Core offers a Jenkins-based manager of managers today that we call CloudBees Jenkins Operations Center. There is a slightly different flavor for the traditional platforms versus the modern cloud-native platforms. And this CloudBees Jenkins Operations Center, its primary value is to provide multi-team, multi-master management with the security and scalability that you need in mission-critical Jenkins deployments. Adopting CloudBees Core is the first step to get you past that Frankenstein. So to help me show you what CloudBees Core is today, I'm going to ask Cyrille Clerc, who's the Senior Director of Product Management for CloudBees Core, to come up and show it to us.
Bonjour Christina, bonjour. Je vais repasser en anglais. So, a key feature that CloudBees Core provides to organizations with many teams is the self-provisioning of dedicated per-team masters with dynamic scaling of build agents. Another is event-based pipelines, a powerful message bus to connect your application pipelines on your DevOps tool, helping you orchestrate large-scale application development and delivery. And soon, CloudBees will be delivering an all-new pipeline templating capability to help you standardize your delivery process across your teams with the governance required in digital transformation. CloudBees Core is available today as a turnkey solution on AWS, on Azure, on Google, and on many other Kubernetes distributions to bring you lower cost of operations and elasticity. This was it. Thank you, Christina. Thank you very much.
Merci, Cyrille. So, as noted before, CloudBees Core continues to depend on Jenkins for its CI/CD orchestration, for the execution of that workload. So beyond the CloudBees Core commercial specific work that we just shared with you, we can continue to invest in the future of Jenkins, both for our customers and for the community at large. That will continue to be very, very important to us, and if anything, we're going to increase our investment there. And so now I'd like to introduce Jen Bryden, a Senior Product Manager on the team, to tell us about recent CloudBees Core open source investments, CloudBees open source investments in Jenkins. So here's Jen.
Thank you, Christina. At CloudBees, we help build Jenkins. In fact, every CloudBees employee gets to work on both the open source Jenkins project as well as on products and services for our CloudBees customers. And we've been able to work this year with the community on several key enhancements. For example, the Configuration as Code project helps you configure Jenkins without having to endlessly click through the user interface. And for the Jenkins pipeline this year, we've provided 3 key improvements. First, we've provided stability and enhancements for security and consistency through Project Cheetah. Second, we now have made it easier for you to create your declarative pipelines through the declarative directive generator. This is spiritually similar to, in concept, to the scripted snippet generator that we have for the pipeline, and you can use this today. And third, now we've made it easy for you to restart your pipelines for declarative. Previously, before this feature, you would have to restart your pipeline entirely from the beginning if you had a failed stage. But now, you can go to that failed stage, resolve the issue, and then restart the pipeline run just from there. Now, looking to the future of Jenkins, you heard about a lot of exciting things from Kosuke and others this morning, but I'm going to just touch briefly on 2. So Project Evergreen is an initiative for Jenkins that is using a rolling distribution that automatically updates. And this is useful because it provides more of a turnkey solution for you for your CI/CD workflows, because you don't have to worry anymore about what plugins are compatible with each other or whether you need to update them. And second, if you're running in Kubernetes, we now have support for Jenkins X, which is a distribution that makes it very seamless for you to get started there. Now, these things are very interesting, but they're all just a start. And there's a lot of things that we want to build here at CloudBees for the Jenkins open source project, and I'm sure there's a lot of things that you guys would like to build. But none of us can do those things on our own. We really need to work together. So if you'd like to work with us on building the future of Jenkins, please feel free to stop by our booth in the expo hall, or you can also come by and talk to me. And I look forward to collaborating all with you very soon. Thank you. Thank you, Christina.
Thanks, Jen. So again, that was pretty fast due to the constraints of time this morning. If you want to learn more about Jenkins-based continuous delivery at enterprise scale with CloudBees Core, I encourage you to check out Cyrille's talk that's happening tomorrow at 3:45. I can tell you Cyrille is one of the bees who prepares the deepest material for his talks and draws upon many, many years of deep experience in software development. So it definitely will be a learning experience. So I highly encourage you to go to that talk. So we also, in terms of how best to get started with CloudBees Core, we also have a fairly new self-service trial of CloudBees Core that you can sign up for online, and we'll provision and run for you. And so this is the URL to access that. And here's the hashtag. And again, if you sign up and are one of the first 50 to do so, and you tweet the evidence with this hashtag and come present that at our booth, we will give you a gift card. But there's more in Core. You've heard about Jenkins X. I never do this, so silly. But anyway, but we have a new commercial solution, kubecd, that is based on Jenkins X, that has just entered limited availability. And so if you're building new cloud-native apps, or you are shifting existing legacy applications to containerized, orchestrated, cloud-native environments, and you're rebuilding your pipelines to do that effectively, and you want the confidence of a commercial offering from CloudBees, kubecd is for you. So to show it to you, I'm going to invite James Strachan, who's the distinguished engineer that is behind both Jenkins X and kubectl, and incidentally is the original author of many frameworks and tools that you probably use, some of which you may love, and some of which you may not love. But anyway, James is not embarrassed at the X, so here's James.
Thanks, Christina. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. High-performing teams automate their continuous integration and continuous delivery and use the cloud well. These days, using the cloud well means using Kubernetes, which is the standard cloud operating system that runs on-premise and on the public, private, and hybrid clouds. kubectl is based on the awesome Jenkins X and serverless Jenkins, and is designed to make it easy to move your applications to Kubernetes or to create brand new applications for Kubernetes. kubectl automatically sets up all of your tools, your environments, and your CI and CD pipelines for you, so your teams can get up and running and be productive in minutes. When you create a pull request, a preview environment is dynamically created for you so that your team can collaborate and review the code changes running live inside a Kubernetes cluster in a production-like environment before you merge the code change. Once you're happy with the code change and you click merge, a new release is automatically created for you. Then it's automatically promoted through your environments from testing to staging to production via GitOps, giving you immutable infrastructure manages code. It's awesome. Thank you very much. Thanks, Christine.
Thanks, James. So now you get the pattern about these little vignettes, which is that was also very short, so you'll have to go to a session to learn more. James is doing a session at 3 o'clock today, which is certainly going to be one of the most packed sessions here, so get there early. And there is a catch on getting started with kubectl, which is this is a major new capability, and the appropriate thing for us to do is to introduce it in a limited availability first. So this is production supported, but we are limiting the number and screening the customers of CloudBees Core. So this is going to be a capability that you own when you own CloudBees Core, but initially we're constricting it to a smaller cohort. And the nice part about that is you get direct support from James and his team. So the best way to get started with kubectl, if you haven't already, is to go to this URL and apply to be part of that limited availability cohort. And here also you can tweet the evidence. And in this case, you will, instead of a gift card, get James and his co-author's new book on Kubernetes, which is certain to be useful in your cloud-native journey. So, as Sasha also mentioned, we did acquire CodeShip earlier this year, and that provides an option where if you don't want to run CloudBees Core or Jenkins yourself anymore, and you just want to consume CI/CD as a service, that's where CodeShip comes in. So I'm going to ask Laura Frank-Tahoe, the Director of Engineering for CodeShip, and noted Docker expert to tell you all about it.
Thanks, Christina. Good morning, everyone. Continuous integration and continuous delivery have the power to transform your projects and your business. That's why we're building CodeShip. CodeShip is a CI/CD tool that's provided to you as a service and built for the cloud. That means you have capacity to run your builds and your pipelines whenever you need to without having to maintain the infrastructure underneath. CodeShip is really easy to get started with, but also powerful enough to grow with the needs of your applications and your teams. You might have an application that you're already shipping to the cloud, or a project that has fewer compliance requirements. Those are great projects to use with CodeShip, because it frees up your shared infrastructure to focus on those projects that really benefit from the power and control of Jenkins and CloudBees Core. As a complement to your shared infrastructure, CodeShip will help your teams always keep shipping. Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. And so, back to the drill. If you want to learn a little bit more, there's a session to do it. Laura and her product management colleague, Dennis Newell, are up today at 5:15 this afternoon. And in terms of getting started, this is CI/CD as a service, so this is super easy to get started with. You can go to this URL and sign up for a free account. And that's another way to get one of those gift cards, again, if you tweet the evidence with this hashtag. So everything we've told you about so far this morning is available now. So we've just got a few minutes left to go, but we're going to switch gears and give you a sneak preview of what we're working on next. So CloudBees Core tomorrow in its V3 generation is going to depart just a little bit more from being an extension of Jenkins into being an engine in its own right. And it's being built ground up for this new era of unified governance of software delivery, of continuous software delivery processes. So to show this to you, I'm going to ask our lead product designer to give you one of the first ever, we did do this at Jenkins World in San Francisco, but one of the first ever views of what we're building on for Core V3.
Thank you, Christina. Good morning, everyone. As you've already heard from Sasha and Christina, we are building the CRM of software delivery, a system that allows you to model your software delivery organization and processes and optimize them over time. A system that lets you define policies with rules based on your software delivery data model to ensure compliance to internal standards and external regulations. For example, being able to prevent any deployments to production for artifacts that violate your quality or security standards, and being able to prove that with full traceability and audit reporting capabilities. We're also going to introduce the concept of apps that can extend your software delivery data model with integrations to other tools in your DevOps ecosystem. And pre-built policies, rules, dashboards, and workflows supporting specific use cases, industries, and technologies. We really could not be more excited about the future of CloudBees Core, and we want you to help us shape that future. Thank you. Thank you, Christina.
Thanks, Ryan. So, as Ryan said, we do want you to help shape this, and we want to invite you to consider whether you want to be a development partner with us. So this is something we increasingly want to do on major areas of innovation, which is invite you early on in the process to work with us, to try out the earliest previews and test environments, to shape the functionality. And so if this is something, if you're looking at compliance, if you're looking at reuse and insurance of best practices, reusable pipelines and those kinds of things in your CI/CD infrastructure, especially if you've started to try to do something like this yourself, we'd like to invite you to become part of building really the state of the art here. And so sign up at this URL to apply to be one of our development partners and tweet out that you've done so at this hashtag #FutureIsNow. So on the other hand, you might be here because you have a Franken Jenkins. You just have open source Jenkins and you need help. And you're not ready to adopt the other areas of functionality. And you want help from the Jenkins experts with that Jenkins. So I do have news for you here too. In the past we haven't offered just Jenkins support a la carte. Now we do. And so you can get support from the largest group of Jenkins contributors and experts in the world, and the people that are really driving the direction of Jenkins can help you with your Jenkins installation. So again, Here is a URL to sign up for support, and there's a chance to win a gift card here as well. So we're almost done. Here's the promise slide with all of the URLs and the hashtags. So we've shown you a lot of ways to get started, from a free forever DevOptics that works with your open source Jenkins or your CloudBees Core, a hosted core trial you can set up literally right as you're sitting here. You can sign up for CodeShip for free. You can become one of a few of the lucky limited availability sites of kubectl, or a development partner for Core v3, or get started with a new support offering. So hopefully you got your photos here. We'll also have some flyers as you're walking out if you prefer paper. And if you want to claim your rewards, because you do go ahead and sign up for these various offers, again, all you have to do is stop by the CloudBees booth and show that you've tweeted and set up whatever it is, and we will give you a code to claim your reward. One other way you can get started, if you'd like to get some help, we are doing a live install fest with experts there, so bring your laptop to this meeting room tomorrow between 2 and 4 in the afternoon, and we'll have a number of people there to help you get started with any of what we just showed you. So that was fun. That's everything that we've been working on that we're ready to show you. So verbally here, I'll give you a little bit of a hint of what you're going to see from us if you come back next year. So in this next year, what you're also going to see is that we have more than doubled our investment in documentation, and we are going to be building a brand new community-oriented documentation site and completely overhauling the documentation of CloudBees and CloudBees documentation of Jenkins, and expanding our content in a massive way. And you're also going to see delivery and first customer deployments of Core v3. So next year, I hope we bring up customers who have deployed Core v3 and started to implement these governance practices. We will be opening up the suite, as Ryan also alluded to, for partners to extend it with apps, and that's going to be a huge opportunity to engage as members of this ecosystem, whether you're a customer or a partner or whatever your role in the community is. You'll be able to extend all of these different things that we're building. And we'll be incorporating the Jenkins modernization that Kostake spoke about, that we're going to contribute a lot toward. We're going to be ensuring that we're incorporating the benefits of that into the Jenkins-based CloudBees products. And we're also playing, and there's a little bit less concrete here, and ideas are very welcome. We have some interesting ideas that probably will be ready to share with you, and some of them may be alive by that point. We have ideas to give developers new power and insights through all of this data that is coming into these shared CloudBees suite installations. There's a lot more we can do to give developers valuable insights if they are sharing CloudBees-based CI/CD infrastructure and Jenkins-based CI/CD infrastructures. There's a lot of thinking there, and I would love more ideas here of what comes to mind for you when I say that. So I hope this morning we gave you a pretty good idea of how the CloudBees suite can help you today and will continue to help you more in your DevOps transformation journey. For me, this transform theme is really about going beyond this simple automation and getting a stable, infrastructure into something much, much bigger that is transforming the entirety of your business into something that supports this idea of the continuous economy. So I'll be around the rest of the show if you want to chat, and I look forward to meeting many of you here this week and in coming months and years. So with that, that's really all we have this morning. So enjoy the show, and hope to speak with you this afternoon and tomorrow.